Hey guys, today I'm going to recreate my 2010 Halloween costume for a magazine photo shoot.
Amazing how good of a photo shoot you can build in just 6 seconds if you're using time-lapse video on Vine. So when I finished my first book, Just Don't Fall, I gave it to some people to read and ask for their feedback. The #1 response I got was, well, what happens after the end of the book? I want to know what you're doing now. It's like, no, nothing happens after. Like, I went to the Paralympics and then I wrote the book. There's nothing happening now. I'm not gonna write an epilogue to Just Don't Fall where it's like, and then I started writing this book and now it looks like I've reached the end of the book and I'm still writing and I'm still writing and I'm still writing and I'm still writing. A bird just went by and I'm still writing and I'm getting kind of thirsty. Alright, the seltzer water was delicious. I'm still writing, But then, I went on this life quest of trying to find a girlfriend. I interviewed like girls who'd rejected me in the past, and then I found a girlfriend and it was wonderful. And so I wrote a book about that. As you know, it's called We Should Hang Out Sometime. As you know, it hits bookstores in December. And then I had some more water. For most of my life, what I really wanted to do is be a writer, but the problem is that I had written 2 memoirs, and I don't want to become what I like to call a serial memoirist. One of those people who just writes memoir after memoir after memoir, and you're like, how did this many things happen in your life? So I feel very confident that serial memoirists tend to kind of like make stuff up. They're kind of like, oh yeah, while this one book was happening, guess what? There was a whole nother part of my life that I didn't tell you about that was also happening simultaneously. I actually went through a wormhole to another dimension and I lived a second life. For me, only about 2 books worth of interesting things have happened. So I did the only thing I could do. I started making stuff up. Whoa, is this a confessional video where Josh tells us that his whole life has been one big throne of lies? Well, that would be a very exciting and scandalous video, but no, the truth is, when I say I started making stuff up, I decided to enter the world of writing fiction. That's right, the secret project that I've been referring to for the past year is a novel. It's my attempt after running out of true stories that have happened in my life and putting them in books to find a way to be able to continue writing books by just making stuff up out of the air and then making it into a meaningful narrative. I'm terrified because your first novel is called a debut novel, and it's very much like a highly intense first date. More of like a polygamous relationship because it's between you and the author and everyone in the world who might potentially read your book is then going to determine if your book was successful, and that will determine if you are able to write more novels in the future. That is, if you're able to get them published. Writing fiction is very different than writing a memoir. When you're writing a memoir, you're thinking about the true events of your life and you're like, here's what really happened, here's how I wish it happened, because this would be a better story. You're trying to choose the most interesting bits from the true narrative to make it an interesting narrative. Why am I wearing a deep cut V-neck shirt? I feel like the only people who wear V-neck undershirts are like super old men and American Apparel models. Pull this video back on subject. But see, fiction is the complete opposite. Fiction is you look at the world and you're like, I could literally say anything. These characters could say anything. In the possible known universe or unknown universe or second life parallel dimension universe. So out of that wildly large potential bubble of characters and story events, you have to somehow boil it down to what are the best possible 200 to 300 pages, and that is what I'm trying to do by writing a novel. I finished the first draft of the novel a few months ago, and right now I'm doing a rewrite over the summer, and I'm very nervous about it, but we'll see how it goes.